Hello everyone, in today's video, I'll be listing the best Metroidvania games of all time on the Nintendo Switch, including updates on some of the best new releases in 2024. Speaking of Metroidvania games, I want to introduce you guys to the best platform where you can get games for insanely cheap price, instant gaming. In instant gaming, there are a lot of games with amazing discount, and it's not limited to PC games. There are games from multiple consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. It's totally legit, super fast, and their support is available 24/7, so you don't have to worry about anything. All you have to do is click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite game, and use the activation key on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving a lot of money, but also supporting my channel. Thanks for checking it out. Now let's get back into the list. Crypt Custodian is one of the best new Metroidvania release on Nintendo Switch. In this game, you play as a cat who's just died and gets sent to the Afterlife. From there, you have to clean the Afterlife and meet other spirits along the way. The game has a charming, hand-drawn look, and with adjustable difficulty settings, it offers an enjoyable experience for everyone. This game is quirky, it's fun, and it strikes the perfect balance of spooky and silly. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is one of those games that will take you right back to your childhood. You play as a young hero named Jin who's out to save his kingdom from a curse. Sounds classic, right? But here's the twist. Jin can transform into different creatures. Each form has unique abilities, so you'll switch between them to solve puzzles, defeat enemies, and explore every inch of this colorful world. Imagine turning into a frog to jump and swim through tight spots, or transforming into a powerful lion to smash obstacles. It's super fun and keeps things interesting. If you're into old school action, dark fantasy, and a bit of gore, Infernax is a perfect game for you. In this game, you play as a knight who returns home to find his land full of monsters and cursed. It's your job to fight through hordes of creepy enemies and make tough choices along the way. The story is simple, but with a dark horror feel that keeps things exciting. Plus, the game has multiple endings depending on the choices you make, so you can play it again and see a new side of the story. Inspired by the record of Lodoss war anime and novels, comes this Metroidvania game from Team Ladybug. In this game, you play as Deedlit, an elf who finds herself lost in a mysterious labyrinth. Your mission is to explore this strange world, battle enemies, and figure out why you're there. If you're a fan of the Record of Lotus War series or just love fantasy settings, this game nails the atmosphere. From the magical abilities to the mythical creatures, it feels like stepping into a fantasy world full of mystery. If you like a game that pushes your skills, you'll love Death's Gambit Afterlife. The game is a mix of Metroidvania exploration and Souls-like difficulty, so you can expect a blend of slow, strategic combat where stamina management is crucial. And just what we would expect from Souls games, this game also has epic boss fights. Boss fights here are intense and packed with variety. If you don't win the first time, the game rewards your progress, helping you get a little stronger for the next try, plus you can fight tougher, heroic versions of bosses later for extra rewards.
Death will not save you.
Imagine a mix between a pinball game and Metroidvania. Sounds wild, right? That's exactly what Yoku's Island Express is all about. Using flippers and bumpers, you launch Yoku around the island to reach new areas, solve puzzles, and uncover secrets. It's fresh, fun, and gives a whole new spin to the Metroidvania genre. While the game's mechanic will make you struggle at first, Yoku's Island Express has a laid-back feel. There's no rush, so you can explore at your own pace. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is a colorful Metroidvania with a lot of charm. In Pirate's Curse, you play as Shantae, a half-genie who's lost her magical powers and teams up with her enemy, Risky Boots, to stop an ancient evil. Together, they travel to different islands, fighting off bad guys, solving puzzles, and finding powerful pirate gear. The story is fun, lighthearted, and full of humor, and it's all about watching these two frenemies work together. Aeterna Noctis isn't for the faint-hearted. The platforming requires precision, and the combat is tough, with a focus on dodging, timing, and mastering your skills. The game is challenging, but if you enjoy games that push you to improve, this is one you'll love. On top of that, this game has one of the largest maps in any Metroidvania, with multiple regions to explore and secrets hidden everywhere. It's perfect for anyone who loves exploration and discovering every corner of a game world. Path of the Teal Lotus is breathtaking. Each frame looks like it's taken straight out of a painting, with detailed backdrops, fluid animations, and Japanese folklore-inspired designs. The visuals make the game a work of art and make every level feel like a place you want to explore. The art alone really leaves a lasting impression. If you're looking for an adventure that's as mesmerizing as it is fun, Path of the Teal Lotus is a journey you don't want to miss. Saying The Messenger is a Metroidvania is already a spoiler, but this game is too good to be left out. At first, The Messenger looks like a classic 8-bit action platformer like Ninja Gaiden, but just when you think you've got it all figured out, there's a big twist. The game transforms into a 16-bit Metroidvania. Yep, it seamlessly shifts styles, changing both the look and gameplay. Once this happens, you're in for hours of exploration, hunting for secrets, and solving puzzles. UNSIGHTED is a fantastic action RPG and Metroidvania that's making waves on the Nintendo Switch. The game introduces a real-time mechanic that's unlike anything you've seen before. Every character in the game has a timer, and if it runs out, they go unsighted. This creates high stakes, as your choices on who to save or sacrifice shape your experience and the story. It makes every action meaningful and keeps you on the edge of your seat. With such unique gameplay element and emotional story, it's a game that sticks with you long after you put it down. TEVI is another exciting bullet hell Metroidvania from the creator of Rabi Ribi. The combat in TEVI is seriously addictive. With tight, responsive controls, you can pull off fast combos, dodge attacks, and chain moves with ease. TEVI's moveset grows as she levels up, adding new combos and techniques that keep battles fresh. You're rewarded for creative attacks, especially in intense boss battles, which blend bullet hell mechanics with multi-stage fights. Each boss brings something wild, from demon professors to feisty raccoon girls, and they're a blast to take on. F.I.S.T, Forged in Shadow Torch, is a 2.5D Metroidvania with jaw-dropping visuals. The game's world is like nothing you've seen before. This diesel punk setting blends classic industrial vibes with futuristic tech, creating a unique aesthetic that makes every area feel immersive and alive. Not only that, the game also features some of the best combat in a Metroidvania. With our character, Rayton's mechanical fist, drill, and whip, you can chain combos, juggle enemies, and switch between weapons on the fly. Each weapon has its own style, adding layers of depth to combat and making every fight feel dynamic and satisfying. If you're a fan of wild action, hilarious humor, and punchy gameplay, Guacamelee 2 has it all. You play as Juan Aguacate, a retired luchador who has to come out of retirement to save not only his universe, but also the entire Mexiverse. Combat in Guacamelee 2 is like choreographed chaos. You can chain punches, kicks, grabs, and special moves into combos that look straight out of an action movie. You'll be punching one enemy, uppercutting another, and throwing another across the screen, all while trying to dodge their attacks. And trust me, as the difficulty ramps up, you'll need to master these moves to survive. At its core, Axiom Verge nails the Metroidvania formula: exploration, discovery, and progression. The game also adds some wild, original mechanics that make it feel unlike any other game in the genre. For example, you get a glitch gun that lets you hack enemies and the environment itself. You'll glitch enemies to weaken them, reveal hidden platforms, or even scramble parts of the map. It's a fresh, inventive mechanic that opens up tons of unique gameplay possibilities and makes every area feel like a puzzle waiting to be cracked. Iconoclasts is a gorgeous Metroidvania that is a must-play on Nintendo Switch. One of the most enjoyable parts of Iconoclasts is its puzzle design. This game is packed with environmental puzzles that you solve with our character's wrench and gun, and they're just the right balance of challenging and fun. From adjusting water levels to manipulating moving platforms, every puzzle feels rewarding to figure out. The puzzles also blend into the world naturally. They're not just random obstacles, they make sense in the context of each environment, adding to the game's immersion. While light in its Metroidvania element, ASTLIBRA Revision is a 2D action RPG that will absolutely blow you away. In this game, you play as a young adventurer who, alongside his talking bird companion, goes on a journey through time and different realms to save someone dear to him. Sounds simple, right? Well, this story is anything but. ASTLIBRA takes classic RPG tropes and twists them, throwing in unexpected plot twists, complex characters, and themes that get pretty dark and philosophical. To put it simply, if you love RPGs, ASTLIBRA Revision is a must-play. Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition is one of the most visually stunning and emotionally powerful Metroidvania games out there. You play as Ori, a small guardian spirit separated from their family in a forest that's dying. Ori's journey to restore balance and bring life back to the forest is emotional, touching, and at times downright heartbreaking. Even without a single line of spoken dialogue, the game's visuals and music alone tug at your heartstrings. But let's just say, if you're not tearing up at least once during this game, you might want to check if you're human. If you love countless hours of exploration and secrets, SteamWorld Dig 2 will have you hooked. The game nails that just one more dig gameplay loop. The main mechanic is digging through an underground world, uncovering valuable resources and hidden treasures along the way. Every time you head down into the mines, you never know what you'll find. And trust me, it's addictive. You'll find yourself constantly saying, just one more tunnel, and before you know it, hours have flown by. Salt and Sanctuary is as close as you can get to having the ultimate blend of Dark Souls and Metroidvania experience. Just as you'd expect from its Souls inspiration, the game offers challenging combat and deep customization. You start by choosing a class like Knight, Mage, or Hunter, but as you level up, you can branch out and create a build that fits your style. The game's skill tree, called the Tree of Skill, is massive, letting you invest points in everything from sword mastery to magic to health boosts. It's super satisfying to see your character grow and evolve into a powerhouse that reflects how you like to play. Blasphemous is a dark and stunning Metroidvania that's unlike anything else out there. The game takes place in a Gothic-inspired world drenched in religious theme. The world is filled with unsettling imagery, dark lore, and mysterious characters who all seem to be burdened by their own sins and struggles. The dark atmosphere really gives this game an eerie feel, and the beautiful pixel art enhances the experience even further. All in all, Blasphemous is a masterpiece, and it's a game that will stay with you long after you've finished. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a spiritual successor to the classic Castlevania series that takes everything you loved about Metroidvanias and cranks it up with modern style and mechanics. In Bloodstained, you're not just stuck with whatever items you find, you can craft and upgrade weapons, armor, and accessories to build your character's strength. This adds a whole new layer to the game as collecting materials from enemies and the environment becomes an essential part of progressing. You'll find yourself farming for rare drops to craft that perfect weapon or accessory that fits your build. Animal Well is an indie game that's unlike anything you've played before. The game is all about exploration and puzzle solving. You're dropped into this vast, interconnected world with little guidance, and your job is to figure out how things work, what certain items do, and how to interact with the creatures you encounter. There are no traditional enemies or combat here, it's more about experimentation and uncovering secrets. It's a game that rewards your curiosity, making every new discovery feel meaningful. Cave Story Plus is an absolute classic in the indie game world. This game has been around for years, but it still holds up as one of the best Metroidvania adventures out there, especially on the Nintendo Switch. The art style is simple yet full of charm, with vibrant colors and expressive characters that make the world feel lively and unique. Whether you're here for the nostalgia, the gameplay, or the story, Cave Story Plus delivers on every level. Ender Lilies' Quietus of the Nights is a really memorable Metroidvania thanks to its beautiful atmosphere. One of the most unique aspects of Ender Lilies is its spirit system. Instead of wielding traditional weapons, our character, Lily, uses the purified spirits of fallen knights to fight for her. Each spirit has its own special attack or ability, from powerful melee strikes to ranged attacks, and you can equip and swap between them to create a playstyle that suits you. Blasphemous 2 is a big step forward from the first game. Everything feels more polished and refined, movement and platforming are much smoother, making exploration a lot more enjoyable, and the clunkiness from the first game is gone. The combat has also improved with 3 new weapons to choose from. You can pick the style that suits you best. While some fans still prefer the charm of the first Blasphemous, I'd give a slight edge to Blasphemous 2 for its improved combat and smoother gameplay. The Lost Crown is the newest addition to the legendary Prince of Persia series, and it's already making waves in the Metroidvania genre. Thanks to its high level of production, the game is incredibly polished, from the platforming to the combat, and even the story. Our character's movement is fluid and precise, making every wall run, leap, and slide feel satisfying. But what really shines here is the combat. It's fast, fluid, and surprisingly deep. You have combos, special abilities, and can even use time-based powers to turn the tide in your favor. Ori and the Blind Forest was already a masterpiece, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps takes it even further. It's going to blow you away. Unlike the first game, Will of the Wisps brings a whole new level of depth to its combat system. Ori now has access to a range of weapons and abilities, from a Spirit Edge sword to a Spirit Arc bow, and you can assign these to different buttons for a more customizable fighting style. Another improvement is the addition of boss fights. Each one is intense, unique, and challenging, making every battle feel epic and memorable. Well, who doesn't know Hollow Knight? This game has become an absolute staple in the Metroidvania genre, and for good reason. It has beautiful visuals, rich storytelling, tight gameplay, and an immersive world into one unforgettable package. One of my absolute favorite things about Hollow Knight is the boss fights. Each fight feels like a dance, with patterns to memorize and moves to dodge, but beating a tough boss is incredibly satisfying. These battles are the perfect mix of difficulty and reward, and they're sure to stick with you long after you've put down the controller. Before we get to the number 1 spot on this list, I want to show you guys a few honorable mentions. Yars Rising is a 2.5D Metroidvania that's set in the classic Yars universe. And if you're under 40, you might be wondering what that even is. Well, Yars Revenge was an Atari 2600 game way back in the day, and Yars Rising somehow ties into that world. This game is a blast. The plot might be a little silly, but it gets the job done. While Nine Souls has not been released yet on the Nintendo Switch by the time I make this video, it would be a crime not to mention it. Nine Souls is regarded as the best Metroidvania games to come out in this 2024. The game will come out soon on Switch, so you Switch owners should be really looking forward to this game. Now let's get back to the number 1 on this list. Metroid Dread is an absolute Metroidvania masterpiece on the Nintendo Switch. You play as the iconic Samus Aran, who is called to the planet ZDR to investigate a mysterious signal that suggests the deadly X-parasite may still be alive. The story unfolds gradually, building tension and mystery around every corner. In addition to its exciting story, the game introduces a host of new abilities while bringing back some beloved classics. From the classic Morph Ball to the powerful Phantom Cloak, each new ability adds depth to exploration and combat. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more new exciting Metroidvania games. That's it, and see you next time.